Have at me, bro. This is Omega 99 Nemesis on my 18th episode of my Dark Souls 2 Scholar of the First Sin lore play. We left off with me just getting to the Executioner's Chariot boss fight. You might notice I used Midas for the footage with the cutscene. That's because I didn't record it with my version of Lux because he died like 3 times, and the first time he died literally going in there, so I forgot to record. My bad. Anyways, this boss fight, the thing that makes this boss fight hard isn't the boss itself. The boss itself is trivial. He can kill you, yes, but he's also very predictable with only one ability that has me worried at any time. The real hard part is, like you might guess, you have to go through this circular outer coliseum where the chariot is running around. If the chariot hits you, you take good damage for your troubles. Yeah. The challenge is killing the 2 necromancers who respawn the skeletons in the area, and then to close the gate and force the chariot to fight you, because then it's just a horse and not a chariot. You've already noticed I killed one. This is the other necromancer. Kill them and the skeletons won't respawn, and likewise they'll give you souls when you kill them. Now pull this lever to bring a gate down. When the next time the chariot comes around, it'll crash through and take massive damage. I have phantoms, and sometimes I like to let them deal with them while I go and collect the items in the back. Though it doesn't seem like I did that this time, because I was more concerned with actually winning. I brought in Bashful Ray, who is pretty useful. As long as he survives to the actual fight, he can do some good damage with his weapons. His pyromancy isn't as effective, though. Not sure why. Now understand also, bringing in phantoms will increase the boss's health in general, but that with the Executioner's Chariot, that's not really a problem. That ability right there is the only concern. It's Dark Breath. It does good damage, and it can easily get 2 solid hits in if it hits you. Avoid that breath, because it can kill you if you're not careful, especially if you're already wounded. That attack is easy enough to dodge if you know what to look for, and it's backward kick and frontward stomp. You just have to roll away. Okay, now we can go and join the Blood Bro Covenant. After dealing with the chariot, I'm just going to re-elaborate that if you bring in the full roster, that the chariot's hit points are probably going to double in total. This isn't much of a problem, however, as the real challenge is just getting to fight the chariot, so don't hesitate to bring any and all the phantoms you can to help you fight this thing. Alright, now that we're going this route, we're going to go up here and talk to Tichy Gren and join the Brotherhood of Blood Covenant. So I'm going to light this bonfire and talk to him, because I've got a token. You need a token of spite, however, in order to talk to him.
Oh, welcome. Welcome. Do you have a lust for blood? Yes, of course. Why else would you be here? Do you give yourself the honor? Then you will need blood. Lots of it. Undead blood, like your own. But it's not as easy as you think. What did he say? Join the Brotherhood of Blood? That can hardly be the whole story. I want to hear what you really think. You want more than just a little blood. You want to be drenched in blood, mired in its foul stench. Am I right? Am I? Oh, just say that I'm right. Huh? I knew it. I knew it. Fantastic. You're the best. Now you are a servant of Na'Alma. This crest of blood is yours. There. Another servant of blood is born. You will serve well. I just know you will. Well, how are we? Whatever you need, I've got it for you. You know anything about tokens of spite? Well, you can fight other blood servants with them. I'll reward you if you win with red orbs. You know, a cracked red eye orb. Use them to visit other worlds and seek more blood. Tell me if you need anything else. I'm very generous. Anything to get you covered in blood. Have you heard of the Blue Sentinels? They're a thorn in our sides, to say the least. Their men are obsessed with hunting down blood servants. Who cares? It's just another chance to spill more blood. Doesn't that excite you? You know anything about tokens of spite? Well,
Alright, so after talking to the creepy little leprechaun, we're going to push forward. I'm going to buy some things off him because I want the great scythe. I like scythes, so of course I'm buying one. I went ahead and also bought one of the chimes he's offering because I figured, well, why not? I didn't get everything, so I am going to have to come back at some point, rejoin the Covenant just to buy stuff. However, 2 items of serious interest is that and the red string, which boosts invasion chances, but also the cracked red eye orbs he souls in a finite number. Until I start getting a lot of souls very often, I'm probably not going to want to buy them off him. So okay, now I'm going to head back to Majula, level up, and continue with the lore play, shall we? Alright, so this is actually my an invasion I performed on Il Mega. Now, I'm going to state it right now, this was the invasion that when I succeeded, Midas became a sinner in terms of his sin ranking. Excuse me a moment. Anyways, now Il Mega I wish went a little better from the start, but unfortunately I acted with a bit of bad form. You see, when he bowed there, I'd used him at force without thinking. I thought he was just going to rush me, like I would have done. It was a mistake that I regretted, and I pulled back, bowed, and even gave him time to heal. Even when a High Knight pursued him because he got aggroed, I chose not to hunt him down because, unlike previous fights, I had actually, to me personally, at least in my opinion, I was out of line, so I allowed him to recover and defend himself against the High Knight. I didn't want to gank him because, honestly, stuff like that really gets on my nerves. Anyways, now he's actually rearing for a fight because he's thinking I'm one of those guys, and I really don't want to leave that kind of impression, so I intentionally don't attack him. I hold position. He's thinking I'm probably waiting to parry him, or guard against him, but actually no, I'm trying to make up for my mistake. I would have even let him get the hit in if I bowed, and would have been like, fair enough. But he does a gesture himself, letting me know that I think he got what I meant, so either way, so now we fight. The guy has 2 maces, dual wielding, power stancing. It's extremely powerful as a stun lock method. I mean, this guy could really mess someone up if he wanted to with that, especially if he built himself up. But this also means he's a terrible build against Midas, because Midas has numerous ranged options, ranging from just his miracles, his lightning spear, to close range. His heavenly thunder is pretty much a minefield. A mid-force makes evasion trickier. Creative use of my lightning spear and enforce ability are also bad. Although it seems like I still do decent enough poise that I can stun lock him with my scimitar. Likewise, every time he gets close, I use the mid-force, keeping him from getting too aggressive, though he did get a good hit in there. Unfortunately, Old Knight with the Great Hammer spotted the fight and got involved. Actually, he might have won. Well, he might have. I think it was a 50-50 from the start. We were evenly matched, to say the least. But the Great Knight's really where I got the advantage. Either way, yeah, this is where he got taken out. So, I'd also like to personally thank Il Mega. I hope I didn't cause him too much trouble by killing him, and wish him luck on his other gameplay. Moving on. Now for the lore video. The Executioner's Chariot Soul. soul of the executioner's chariot that holds control over the undead purgatory. The chariot was created only to torment undead, and it took the form of a horrendous mad steed, a window into the soul of its master. Use the special soul of the executioner's chariot to acquire numerous souls, or to create something of great worth. On the lore side of things, the executioner's chariot reigned over the undead purgatory, which was a connected land to the old Iron King. The old Iron King was very vindictive. He was a vainglorious liar, as I've heard several times. He was also a petty man. He deceived and cheated in a past life, and really, this man, the Iron King, was a very poor king. Ambition was his greatest virtue, and ironically, that's not much of a virtue. So that also means that he would torment and abuse and destroy what he could not control. He despised the undead because he had no power over them, and used this chariot to torture them on those that were captured. He held undead hunts, something that dated back long ago, but was far more zealous than several predecessors in this aspect, creating the Huntsman's Cops specifically to detain and capture and torment and hunt undead, rather than the animals. And likewise, the undead and the very people who hunted the undead later contracted the curse as well, as we're going to see the people who headed these hunts, what became of them. Ergo, didn't go well for them. Either way, when it says that it's a window into the soul of its master, that should give you some idea as to what the Iron King is, considering the Iron King would be the master of the chariot. Either way, on a gameplay perspective, you can use this item to acquire, at most, 10,000 souls, I think. And if you trade this soul along with a sum of souls to one of two NPCs, they can give you a boss weapon of some sort. I think it ranges from a whip to a crossbow. But I'll get into those later if I can. Alright then, let's move on. Alright, now we proceed back to this bridge that we lowered back in the last episode, or maybe the episode before. Either way, it's irrelevant. You're gonna see this dome here where the third bonfire is. After I summon this person, Fallen Savior, I think his gamer tag was, we're going to have to get the key to open that up to get into there and start an NPC quest and unlock a summon for the next boss fight. However, we'll be getting to that momentarily. After dealing with another lock-on glitch, I deal with this guy. I don't know why it does that. Why does it bypass them? Either way. So yes, now the Fallen Savior's here, we're going to be dealing with another scripted invasion from, what's her name? Something Melina, or, I don't know. Well, Mildred? I don't know. So after dealing with these guys and seeing the Speed Racer zombie run off, we're going to kill these guys. Bashful Ray is about to expire, so from here we're going to go up this hill to be dealing with the next invader. Unless I've already dealt with her, in which case, well, nope, Dark Spirit Merciless Rowena. Alright, from here we're going to get the Flomberg, which I'm going to have to edit in a clip from a later point in my playthrough, but yeah, this is where you get the Flomberg. As you can tell, Rowena's not that tough. And now that we got the key, we're going to backtrack. But first, we're going to go ahead and get the Flomberg after getting the human effigy and putting down the butterfly. Alright, so the Flomberg is actually concealed here. This is also where the butterfly's moss drops after you kill it. So, fall down to this small platform. You can see it walking down the lower path, and you can pick the Flomberg up off this corpse here. Alright, so from here we're going to backtrack now that we have the key to light the bonfire, and we're going to conclude this episode with the beginning of Creighton the Wanderer's story arc. You know, we're going to meet the character who is going to be who I'm going to summon as a phantom to fight the boss of this area. In the original cut, Creighton just moves on after you open up that gate, that third bonfire where he was trapped. However, in this cut of the game, he is actually a summon for the boss here. So, light the bonfire, and we're going to talk to Creighton now, if you don't mind. Just give me a moment to sort my thoughts out. Yeah, so...
I thought you were that bastard for a moment. You've set me free. Now I can find him. The cheeky prick. He won't know what hit him. I am Creighton of Mirror. I travel from land to land to hone my blade. heard this land was full of danger. I thought it would suit me perfectly. I joined forces with a man on the way, but he was no more than a backstabbing knave. He took the first chance he had to try and off me. I decided to set a trap for him here. But then I got trapped myself. I can't believe that I was so dense. Thank the stars that you came along. You be careful of him. Pate, I think he said. He wears this rather unusual ring. You know it when you see it. I've seen his type before. He kills entirely for the pleasure of it. I'm sure I won't be his last victim. The man's better off dead. I tell ya. He's a slick talker, so don't let him fool ya. Pate, the man with a strange ring. Watch out for the slimy rat. And don't you believe a word he says. I'll find a common footpad and put an end to his roguery.
So after learning the gesture from Creighton, I'm going to conclude this episode. In the next episode, we're going to fight the boss. On a side note, I would also like to mention that the next episode I plan on doing the Flomberg for lore, so look forward to that.